The asteroid mine was hushed as the night shift wound down. Jin focused on readouts at the central monitoring station, stifling a yawn. It had been a long 0230-0530, but only a few more ticks remained on shift. A proximity alert blipped, snapping Jin from his fatigue. He tapped the screen, zooming in on the source, an unregistered ship emerging from hyperspace near the outer perimeter. Jin frowned. They weren't expecting any visitors. He hailed the vessel. "Unknown craft, this is Mining Station Beta. Identify yourself and state your business." Static greeted him. Jin tried alternate frequencies with no response. That's odd, he thought. Usually even pirates at least pretend to be friendly. Concerns grew as the ship drifted ominously closer. It was battered and nondescript, nothing identifying it as legal or sanctioned. Jin sounded the alarm. Within minutes, the night crew gathered in the command center, armed and on high alert. The ship stopped just outside disruptor range. An eerie silence fell as all eyes watched and waited for its next move. Without warning, bay doors slid open with a groan, ejecting a small shuttle. It floated dead in space for a heartbeat before engines flared to life. The shuttle charted a beeline course straight for the station's landing bay. "All defenses stand by," Jin ordered. "Someone patches me through when they land." The mood was tense as the craft touched down unchallenged. What were their intentions? Were they after cargo, crew, or the station itself? The bay doors shuttered open. Two figures emerged from the shuttle, backlit by its interior lights. One, a tall woman, was unmistakably augmented. Her companion, a lanky man who lit a cigarette, had an easy yet wary manner about him. "This is Station Beta," Jin spoke firmly through the comm. "Identify yourselves and your purpose here. No funny business. You're covered from all sides." The man took a drag and blew smoke casually skyward. "Name Spike. Friend here is Fay. We're just passing through. Thought you might be in need of some extra security." Spike took another slow drag as green eyes surveyed the landing bay coolly. Though lanky in build, there was a coiled grace to his movements hinting at combat prowess. Tattoos peeked from beneath rolled sleeve cuffs, relics from a past shrouded in mystery. Fay cut an equally intriguing figure. Her lean physique was clearly augmented, yet not in an overtly military fashion. Delicate synthetic limbs meshed seamlessly with natural flesh, enhancing without diminishing her femininity. Luminous eyes, one organic brown and the other cybernetic blue, scanned the crew with aloof curiosity. Jin sized them up warily through the monitor. "What makes you think we need security? We run a tight ship here." Spike exhaled a plume. "Heard chatter of pirates stirring in the Kuiper Belt. Outer rim stations like this often draw unwanted attention." Fay spoke for the first time, voice lilting yet edged. "Our ship's swift. We could mount patrols, stand watch, whatever you need. For a fee, of course." Jin considered. The Kuiper Belt mines were remote, reliant on self-sufficiency with help cycles few and far between. Extra defenses might offer comfort, assuming these wayfarers were trustworthy. But out here, trust came hard-won. As if reading his mind, Spike added casually, "Don't worry, you'll have complete run of our ship as insurance. We aim only to lend aid." Behind them, the strange vessel awaited judgment, mysterious as its crew. Jin's gut told him to refuse, yet his head said resources were scarce this far from civilization. With a sigh, he signaled the all clear. "Come, we'll discuss terms." The doors slid open, admitting the travelers into the belly of the mining station. Time would tell if they brought stability or strife to its fragile environment. Spike sauntered after Jin, his long legs covering the distance with an easy, almost lazy grace. Despite his lean frame, there was an underlying strength and honed reflexes evident in every movement. From the casual lighting of a cigarette to the smooth slide of hands into patched leather pockets, He exuded a relaxed nonchalance that masked a readiness for action. His keen, green eyes missed nothing, absorbing every detail around them. When a maintenance bot buzzed a little too close, Spike's hand instinctively twitched towards where a weapon might be concealed, a silent testament to his well-honed survival instincts. The enigma named Spike was wrapped in mystery. Tattoos emerged from beneath frayed sleeves, a mosaic of symbols with meanings known only to him. Scars, both small and large, traced the contours of his skin, telling tales of a tumultuous past. A shock of messy brown hair fell carelessly across his high forehead and narrow jaw, framing a face that held a strange juxtaposition of rugged handsomeness and the weariness of experience. As they strolled through the station, Jin sensed Spike silently assessing escape routes, noting defensive positions and weighing assets and liabilities. Despite moving with the assured gait of someone completely at home in his own skin and surroundings, there was a distinct sense of detachment, like an observer looking in from the outside. Jin observed Spike from the corner of his eye, attempting to decipher the man. Pirate, mercenary, smuggler. Spike embodied the hardened edge of a life lived outside the law. Yet, for all the wary caution in his green eyes, there was a lack of true malice. An unconventional code of honor seemed to underlie his actions. Whoever Spike was, Jin realized that measuring him would be a nuanced task. In the lawless expanse of the Kuiper Belt, having capable allies with ambiguous moralities might be preferable to facing the void alone. The tour concluded at Jin's office for terms negotiations. The standard fee is 50 wolongs per crew member, per hour on call, Jin began. Spike blew out smoke pensively. Make it 75. Jin bristled but countered. 65 and your vessel is searched upon each visit. Spike inclined his head. Deal. They shook hands to seal it. As Jin prepared the paperwork, an alert blared. A cave-in down shaft 3. Reports say a section collapsed near the bauxite seam, Jin said grimly. Miners were trapped, and more unstable rock threatened further disaster. Spike was already on his feet. Show me! In the emergency, Jin deemed a proper ship search unnecessary. Spike, Fay, and their craft hurtled to the rescue. Braving aftershocks, they clawed through rubble alongside engineers and exoskeleton rigs. On the third cycle, Spike stumbled onto a sunken escape pod holding 5 injured miners. Quick thinking brought portable drilling and lifting equipment to punch through and extract them safely. His actions were precise, yet fearless in peril. When all were accounted for, cheers and backslaps greeted the rescuers. Spike accepted thanks with humble grace, lighting a cigarette to hide his pride. Jin stared, reassessing this enigmatic ally. No sooner had stabilization finished than sensors detected the pirate ship, an armed trawler broadcasting ransom demands. Jin paled. They were sitting ducks. But Spike grinned wildly. Time to see what this old girl can do? Their vessel launched, outmaneuvering the pirates with daredevil skill. But would charm and coordination prevail, or end in disaster? All hung on Spike's mysterious prowess. Spike's ship danced nimbly around ponderous pirate broadsides. Fay, jam their communications. Jin, feed us sensor data. The trawler's crew grew desperate, unleashing everything in a bid to overwhelm the agile intruder. But Spike had been in 100 such battles. He knew when to stand and slug it out, when to cut and run. Drawing the pirates away from the station, he goaded their frustrated captain. Is that all you've got? I've seen asteroid rodeo drivers with better aim. The bait worked. Enraged, the trawler charged headlong. Spike counted heartbeats, then rolled them into an electrifying hammerhead maneuver that brought their underside guns to bear point blank. Both ships rocked under the barrage. But where Spike's vessel sustained only buckled plating, the pirate trawler listed heavily aft. Engine cooling compromised. She drifted out of control. Spike closed in like a wraith. "Surrender, and you live to face trial. Continue fighting, and I leave you to the void." To their credit, the pirates threw down weapons in ragged surrender. Spike took custody with ease born of experience, then contacted the authorities. With prisoners and cargo secured, justice would be served. Back at the station, cheers greeted the victors. Spike accepted thanks quietly as ever, lighting up with visible relief. His skill had protected these miners, a simple act of goodness from a clearly complex soul. Jin offered his hand again in partnership. "These belt folk will sleep safer for your being near. Consider staying on as chief of security, if you've a mind." Spike pondered the stars and the open road called beyond. But here was purpose, for however long it lasted. He shook on the deal with a knowing grin. In the aftermath, stability returned to the mining station. Repairs commenced on damaged infrastructure, while the captured pirates awaited transport. Spike took up his new role coordinating security. Though relaxed in manner, he proved a stern yet fair leader. Weaknesses were shored up, defenses strengthened, and response drills whipped the crew into top form. With miners' lives now in his trusted hands, Spike devoted himself fully to the role. Fay assisted when needed, but grew restless for adventure. Their vessel sat idle too, the call of the open stars, of unknown frontiers to explore, sang ever louder in Spike's soul. One night, over cigars and whiskey, Jin asked Spike about his past wanderings. The bounty hunter smiled enigmatically and demurred with practiced ease. But Jin sensed history there, and pain and loves, since lost to the vast, uncaring black. Finally, the day came when Fay announced her departure, unable to deny her vagabond heart any longer. Spike knew he must follow, to roam those same star lanes and feel the solar wind through his hair once more. He broke the news to Jin, who understood. Men like Spike were never meant to be caged, no matter their skill or value. Together they planned the changeover, training Spike's replacement to carry on his efforts. The parting was bittersweet. Bonds formed under fire are not easily shattered. But Jin knew Spike would answer, if ever the station called, and perhaps their paths would cross again, out among the glittering stars. With repairs complete and defenses optimized, Spike and Fay boarded their trusty ship for new frontiers beyond. The mining outpost waved them off into the inky black, hoping this wasn't the last they'd see of the enigmatic bounty hunter Spike. Fay fired the engines, and they blasted away from the station. Spike lit a final cigarette and gazed out at the stars, letting the familiar rumble of the ship soothe his soul. "So where to next, Captain?" asked Fay with a smirk. Spike took a long drag, blowing smoke thoughtfully. "How about we check out that unexplored sector past Jupiter? Bound to be some action out on the frontier." Fay punched in coordinates and kicked them into hyperspace. The stars dissolved into swirling blue tunnels as they shot off into the unknown. A few uneventful weeks passed, doing odd jobs and chasing phantom leads. Then one night, Spike was jarred awake by blaring alarms. He burst onto the bridge to find Fay at the controls, eyes wide. "Unidentified wreckage dead ahead. I'm picking up a distress beacon, but it's weak." Spike peered at the scanner, making out the remnants of a smashed transport ship tumbling in the void. "Bring us in slowly. Might be survivors." They maneuvered through the debris field, suiting up for emergency rescue. But as they neared the smoldering hull, movement caught Spike's eye. Something was alive in there, cutting through the wreckage towards them with alarming speed and purpose. "Fay, we've got company. Whatever it is, it doesn't look friendly." He readied his weapon, heart pounding. What monstrosity had survived the crash? The question would have to wait. It had spotted them and was charging straight for the ship at reckless speed. "Brace for impact!" Fay yelled. But would their defenses hold against this unknown menace? The creature burst from the wreckage with a bone-chilling howl. "To be continued,"